Reasons the electorate likes Mike Baird.
I've seen him on Twitter.
He looks like a smiling Furby.
Okay, cool. Looks like we voted in a government on literally a skin-deep whim.
New South Wales of a reason.
Mike Baird's a premier? I thought he was the Twitter celebrity.
I wish he was. Or that the New South Wales spurt you so high out of its blowhole you were trapped on the moon to become the real-life Chinese New Year princess so you can't vote.
Moon cheese is a small consolation for the crushing loneliness. Particularly seeing as it doesn't exist.
As now, Mike Baird is in charge of delivering the most populated state in Australia its vital services. And good news to people with disabilities, Mike Baird is absolutely committed to giving you
the British experience.
That's not good, that sounds awful.
Yeah, but we didn't do anything to that picture. We filmed it with a real fit camera turn. It still looks bollocks because of the weather.
An experience that was described by the UK's own Auditor General as having monumentally failed and resulted in private companies fraudulently taking public money, which caused Mr. Baird to instantly prick up and wonder.
Hang on. You mean there's a way to be extremely cruel to the most vulnerable members of our society and give billions and billions of dollars in public assets to a few of my corporate donors and not charge them a single dime for it? My liberal sense is tingling. My brain has switched around the title of the movie Like Mike into Mike Like. What is it?
They're gonna completely privatise New South Wales's disability service.
Oh, wipeout!
Current Minister for Ageing and Disability Services / former Rock'em Sock'em robot John Ajark are adding
60% of disability services are already provided by non-government organisations.
Consistent. The party that argues that a continent with a population of 23 million can't possibly absorb more than 12,000 able-bodied Syrian refugees, but just New South Wales can. Get a single state's very inexperienced and ill-equipped private sector to take on 120,000 extremely high-needs disabled patients overnight.
Well, Syrians aren't as compact as disabled people, who we all know as the trolleys of humanity.
You better believe it. Despite industry experts clearly expressing there is no way in hell the private sector can absorb all 120,000 government care disabled patients, nor do they have any intention whatsoever of doing so, because you know what the private sector likes?
Saving Private Ryan?
Probably, but they also like profit. And most of the people on the government plan are either too much of an expense to get a profit out of, or they're not disabled enough to be profitable.
Because if you're deaf, you don't need that much medical attention, so, you know, go away. I said! Ah, that's right, how insensitive of me.
So the whole reason the private sector has been lobbying the Liberal government to dispose of the ADHD is just to force this nice little middle spot into their care, and then discarding the rest of them as if they were nothing but Oreo ends.
Oh, wonderful. It looks like we have a plan for these people after all. Twist, lick and dunk.
Yeah. Despite the Liberal Party having this policy for 20 years and still not having an answer to basic questions like, what happens to the patients who can't afford private healthcare? And what happens to the people the private system are obviously going to reject? That
will be negotiated
after the government service is closed.
Yeah, well, I work better under pressure.
Not to mention the carers of these disabled people, also known as the exact polar opposite of the dude who works at Phone Zone, backs into your car and doesn't leave a note.
Yeah, well, I don't have insurance.
Probably the closest thing humanity has to angels, apart from, of course, Jack Figden.
He was everywhere, and then he was nowhere. It's as if we were touched by an angel.
Oh my god, my car! Uh-oh. Time to stop musing and time to crank up the muse-stooge.
Their carers, that in many cases have been looking after these people ever since they were babies, will be rewarded for being the most selfless and kind-hearted people on the planet in the only way I know how, by being smacked with far worse conditions, and a 25% pay cut if they survive the mass culling of 14,000 carers that are about to be stripped from the government payroll.
Yeah, well, if people with no arms and legs have a problem with it, why don't they just move? Yeah, that's what I thought. Stumped.
And yet, the New South Wales Liberal Party has the nerve to turn around to the public and tell them,
the New South Wales government's highest priority throughout this process is to ensure the safety and well-being of clients.
Which is good news for me, as I just dented that guy's car and didn't leave a note, but even I get to feel morally superior.
because if Mr. Ajaka and Mr. Baird really did have these people's best interests at heart, why would they completely gut literally the world's best disability care service with no plan to accommodate these people when they can't afford what will be the skyrocketing price of private healthcare when we have a completely privatised system? While thousands of these highly trained carers that are in many cases these patients' only friend will not only be separated but effectively fired, while a few of the New South Wales Liberal Party's corporate donors get gifted billions of dollars in public assets absolutely free. It's not that they're creating a disability service in this state that mirrors America's healthcare system and don't care at all about the disabled people they're leaving in the dirt, as they know it won't gauge enough public interest to cause a huge election-losing issue. No, that's too cynical. The real reason the New South Wales Liberal Party wants to do this is to give people with a disability a choice and control over their lives.
A choice? You're taking away these people's choice. No, that's not entirely accurate, because by taking away that choice, we're delivering them two new choices of housing. Paper or plastic, the hobo's oxygen tank model.
I know, there's definitely oxygen in here, eh? How else would I be breathing?
Mike Baird's disability plan. I wonder why he never tweets about it.